All right, we are live. My name is Ben Gorlick, and
I'm Christina Roper.
we are excited and thrilled to be interviewing Jeremy Saunders, and he is from Iron Realms Entertainment Company. So we have a little bit of video, audio action here going on. Hopefully, people will be able to see it and hear us clearly. And you there, Jeremy?
Yep, I'm here.
All right, cool. So just as an introduction, Jeremy is the president of Iron Realms. It is a company that focuses on video gaming in the text-based video game world and possibly other things as well. And we're hoping that he will fill us in on all that exciting stuff. And we just kind of wanted to kick this off with a general introduction and have you introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, where you grew up, how old you were when you discovered text games, and give us a little bit of an intro of how that came into being.
Right. So I missed all that, what you just said, but that's okay. I'll kind of give you an intro background, I guess, about myself. So I started doing, as a text player, before I started playing text mods, I was really into like role-playing games and all that kind of, crazy stuff. And so when I was a kid, of course, I did the Dungeons and Dragons stuff and all that type of thing. And then as I got older, I kind of got out of that and I really got into like Warhammer tabletop gaming. Loved that. And then I can't remember what I was doing. One day I was just like super bored and I was just surfing around the internet and I found like some silly little mud with like 2 players on it, and I just like loved it to death. I was addicted, and then I thought this was the best thing ever. And then somehow I discovered there's like more. I thought this was the only game in the universe that was like that. Like there were no other like text mods in the world. So I was like, man, it'd be so much better if like other people played these games. And then of course, there's at that point there was really thousands of other text mods. So I eventually started. I ran into Achaea. So Achaea was actually really my first text mod. The other one I played for like a week, but I was bored out of my mind because it was just me. So then I started playing Achaea. I played Achaea, quite a bit for. I want to say I played my character on there for about 7, 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. And then I talked to Matt, who of course is the owner of Iron Realms. It was just Achaea at that point, and asked if I could help out the game.
Was it even a company at that point?
I don't think Iron Realms actually existed at that point. I think it was just Achaea. So I don't even think they even had the word Iron Realms even existed. So I started volunteering on Achaea. As a admin, god, whatever. And I did that for about a year or so. And I think during that time, Atolia came out, and then Matt was talking about wanting to do another, spin-off like that. And I said at that point I was running a martial arts school, doing mixed martial arts, which was still pretty new, and kickboxing and that type of stuff. So I was like, I could, I would like doing that. That'd be a nice little change and kind of make, my job my hobby and my, my hobby my job, just whatever.
Right.
And at that point I was going to school also. Like I was working on my computer science degree on the side a little bit, just for fun also. And so all this kind of worked out and came together. So I started started Empyrean. Matt gave me 3 months to just get it going. So just as fast as we could, we got volunteers and, smashed it all together and got Empyrean open. And then, I ran Empyrean for, man, how long did we do Empyrean? Was I kind of the main guy? Probably 2 or 3 years I was doing Empyrean. And then I started helping out on Atolia. And then they made me, kind of the president, because Matt at that point was off doing Earth Eternal with Sparkplay. So he kind of needed someone to, to kind of run like the company in general as far as, advertising and marketing and making sure that everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing and stuff. So I took over doing basically the day-to-day Iron Realm stuff, and we hired Jesse to do Empyrean.
Can you give us kind of a time frame of how that all happened? You said there was a 10-month period where you played Achaea, but after you became a god, how much time was there between becoming a god and then becoming the president of this company?
Let me see here. So I was 10 months as a player, and then
what year was that when you started Achaea? Do you remember?
What year?
Yeah, what year?
Oh my gosh, dude, that's crazy. You want me to remember that kind of stuff? So it had to have been 8, 10. See here, how long have I lived here? I lived here for about 8 years. After I got calculate by how long it's been that I've lived in Bellingham here. So I started working. So I started running Empyrean 8 years ago. So I think Empyrean's about 8.5 years old, right? So let me see here. So I was at God for about a year, and then we opened Empyrean. So that was about 8 years ago, and then I can't remember when I started running Iron Realms. Boy, that's killing me. So I'd say I think I ran Empyrean for about 4 years, and then I started running Iron Realms. So that's my best guess. I guess I should have looked that up.
Well, you don't know the questions I'm going to ask you, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
And how old is Achaea right now as a game? Do you know exactly when it started?
I think we're coming up on our 14th year.
Wow.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Right. It's amazing in terms of online games because there's very few online games that have that much longevity that still have a player base.
No, definitely. I mean, there's definitely, a couple of text mods that are older than Achaea, like, the Simultronic games, and then, a couple other mods that have been around a little bit longer, but Achaea is really up there in like, how long it's been around, definitely. And then in relation to other games, I mean, it's been around like forever. Because I think most games have a lifespan of 2 or 3 years or so. Obviously not counting like World of Warcraft, which I think, obviously is going to have a long lifespan too, but, it's just amazing how long the game has lasted.
Why do you think that Archaea has been around as long as it has? I mean, what does it have that distinguishes itself from other text games?
First of all, most text games are just hobby mods, right? Like it's just hobby guys out there kind of doing it for fun. And most people, I don't think, realize how much work it is. It is so much work to run a text game. A common complaint I kind of get from players is, why don't we have new skills? Why don't we have new events all the time? Why don't we have constantly new stuff coming in the game? Why aren't all my bugs fixed? Why isn't this? Why isn't that? And I mean, it would be awesome if all we could do is sit around and make up new stuff all the time. But imagine, for those of you that know what issues are, they're like, obviously customer support requests for people that are anything from just needing help, like maybe they're, a purchase didn't come through, or maybe they're having a problem with a player, or just whatever. Imagine waking up every morning as a producer and having 20 issues that you have to sit there and go through. And it takes a few hours to go through that. And then you've also, you got to code new skills and fix bugs and, manage gods and players and come up with events. I mean, it's amazing how much time it takes. And if you're doing it as a hobby, so you have a full-time job and a hobby, I mean, just right there, I mean, I wouldn't ever open a mud just thinking about how much work it is. So I would say that most text games fail because people just don't realize how much work it is.
So that kind of explains from the perspective of a developer. How about text-based gamers? How do you think that they are different from other types of video gamers? What makes them special, and why are they interested in the text niche?
It's a persistent world. You make friends, it's relations. It's almost like social gaming, right? I mean, I have friends that I've made on the games, when I was a player that I'm still friends with. So that's a lot. That's a big reason why people stay. They have friends. It's community. It's exciting. There's also always new stuff coming out. Most of the time, when you get a video game, you're never going to get an update on it. So after you've played all the content and done all the quests and done everything, I mean, there's nothing new to do. Why are you going to keep playing it, right?
You beat the game, essentially.
Yeah. So, with our games, there's always something new, and even if something new doesn't come out for a few months, I mean, you can always get better at fighting or exploring or find new quests. I mean, there's just never ending stuff to do. And most games are always trying to run, a new RP event, or they always have new areas coming. I mean, there's always new stuff to do. So I think that's a big reason that people stick around, in our type of games. And then, I mentioned World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is always adding new stuff. I mean, that's one of the big reasons people keep, playing their game. I mean, it's always got new content, right? So that's why, obviously, there's a longer lifespan to games like that.
Yeah, they have those expansion packs. Now, Achaea doesn't really have an expansion pack because it's all under one umbrella all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we can just instantly load stuff. Obviously we're only running one server, so it's a little bit easier. We're not having to load all these updates to hundreds of different servers all at the same time.
Right.
So it's just a little bit easier. And one of the things about that is it's a lot easier for us, because we don't have this ginormous player base and only one server. We can run a lot more custom RP events. Like a game like World of Warcraft can't do small one-off RP events that are adjustable based on what the players do, because it's impossible. They've got to do the same thing on all the games, on all the servers, exactly the same. There can't be any variation where, with text games, you can get that personal, nice, fun, it's entertaining for people.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's see. So, tell me what it was like being the god of evil. I mean, people are players on this, but they don't know what it's like to be gods, much less the god of evil. I mean, tell us what that was like.
Man, I loved doing it. I did it for a year. Being like most people fantasize, oh man, if I could just be a god on the game, it would be so much fun. Being a god is actually a lot of work, right? Because you're not necessarily playing the game as much as creating the game for other people. And as a player, it's just more entertaining. I mean, you can go kill this person when he makes you mad, and you can do this and do that. You don't have to be nice to anyone. You can be a jerk all the time. With a god, you got to be a little more diplomatic, and obviously you're trying to make events. So I loved making events, and I loved trying to get as many people as mad at me as possible all the time. And I figured if everyone in the game hated me, hated me to the point I knew they were sitting behind their computer shaking, then I had done my job.
Well, you're evil, so
yeah. Oh, it was great. I think though, even if you're playing a good god, you could do the same thing and it'd be just as exciting, right? So if you're playing the god of good, or whatever, god of light, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, you just play to such an extreme that everybody that isn't on your team just hates you, right? And I think that's what makes it more fun. A lot of people play gods and they try to be friends with everyone and whatever. I think you just personally, I mean, that's my play style. That's why I had fun doing it. I like to take it to such an extreme that pretty much everybody hated me. And in Achaea, it was important to gods to have shrines and lots of essence and that type of stuff. And I didn't care. Who cares about essence? Who cares about shrines? All I cared about was people being mad at me. So for me, that was a lot of fun.
How did you come up with the ideas that you implemented as the god of evil? Because there's one of the things is that you've left a legacy in Achaea that a lot of players still try to uphold even till today. You have the 7 truths of evil, and
they're still doing that, huh?
They're still doing that, yeah. And I'm sure some people are curious, where did that come from? Was that something you just whipped out of thin air one day when you're sitting at home going, what's truly evil, or did you draw from sources?
Can't even. This is going to sound absolutely horrible, but I can't even remember what the 7 truths of evil are. But most of that stuff I would say, okay, what can I do that would really basically my question was, is this going to really make people mad and make me kind of alienate people? That'd be great. I remember when I first started playing, I came up with this rule okay, if you get married to anyone, you're not really evil, because evil people don't get married, right?
Yeah, they don't love each other. They don't have love,
yeah. Right. So why the heck get married? And so I was if you join my order, you can't be married. And so many people would not join my order just because. In fact, I think I can't remember who was running the Infernal Guild at that time. I think it was Sinistar or something like that. He was married to someone. And the Infernal Guild was the god, the evil guild in the game. And he was so pissed that he couldn't join my order because he was married. I was like, well, dude, just get divorced and you can, you could be in my order. And he wouldn't do it. So whatever.
Just pissing people off.
It made him, I'm pretty sure it made him mad, but whatever. That was the fun.
Right. They still try to walk in your footsteps even today. So
that's good.
That's funny, because I'm sure that there's players that have looked at that philosophy and said, I wonder if I could implement that in real life and if that would actually work.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a hard thing to do because, as a player, or even as a god, you can overdo it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
What am I trying to say? Most people think being evil is killing other players as much as possible, right? And that really wasn't. I mean, as a player, I loved PK. I did it all the time, and this was before they had issues or rules. I would just wander around killing people. It was a lot of fun. And for me, that was kind of evil. But then as I started playing, the god character, I realized, you just can't do that. You got being evil is, a mechanic in the game, and everybody does it, but it's not killing other players isn't necessarily evil. So one of the things I had to do was like step back and go, okay, what can I do that just gives, the character or the guild or the order the perception of being evil. And so I would do events like, I think I had a temple in Ashton once, and I filled it with like little kid mobs. And I was like, okay, everybody come and kill all these little kid mobs. And I would have the little kid mobs screaming like across the world, like they're murdering me and that type. Even though that happens every day in the game, right? People just go around bashing areas with little kids in them, right? Oh, I made it bad. Like, I remember I had emails from people that were so mad at me, like mad at me in real life for doing that. And I was just like, buddy, people are doing this all the time in the game. You're just mad because I made like an event out of it and had the kids crying and screaming. If you don't like it, then you should be role playing against it in the game. So stuff like that was it. Nobody died, but man, it just raised that perception of just pure evil. It was a lot of fun.
I think that what you're saying now is going to help even a god that maybe watches this interview or tunes in and wants to have ideas of how they can make their experience more fun. Hopefully, as they play as well, they're going to want to come up with ideas that have worked well in the past. And I wonder, are the rules today for gods the same as they were back then, or are gods more restricted, or like do they still have the same freedoms to run those kinds of events?
As far as I know, they can run events like that all they want. I don't think any of the games have really limited like what they can do RP wise. In fact, in that event, it wasn't even me doing it. I had like some mob priest guy in the temple doing it. So I mean, I know for a fact probably any of the gods would be allowed to do that. And that's not just something you can do as a god either. I mean, that's something you can do as a player. You just take your extreme. I remember, and kind of where this idea was spawned is I was talking to Matt one day, and he said, and this was like when I first started playing the character, or maybe I met him in real, I can't remember, but he said he originally had a character on another mud, and I can't remember the name of the mud all of a sudden, but anyways, and he played a good character, and he played it to the extreme of like, I'm not going to allow anyone to die in the game. I'm a good person. People shouldn't be murdering, that type of stuff. So he played it to such an extreme that he didn't kill anyone. And if he saw anyone attacking anyone, he would go and use his skills to disarm them and take their weapons away. And he just went around, instead of trying to kill people, just go around and steal everybody's weapons so he couldn't kill anyone. So, you can do extreme things like that. And maybe you're not getting as much PK that way, but man, that would be a lot of fun just running around stealing people's weapons and role-playing like I'm saving the world and the universe. So I think you can do almost any character. I think role-playing the extremes is what's fun. I mean, obviously that's not for everybody. But, just take, I'm the god of nature or whatever, and just take it to an extreme. And sure, maybe your order isn't going to be gigantic. Maybe you're only going to have 3 people in your order, or maybe you're a character, and sure, you're not ever going to be elected to be the ruler of the city, but, you play your character to an extreme, and sure, everyone's going to hate you, but that's part of the fun, I think.
Exactly.
But anyways, that's me.
So you've transitioned from player to god, and then as this game has grown into a company, now you're president of this company. Take us through kind of what you do in the day of the life of president of Iron Realms. I mean, what does your day entail?
Okay, so it's not really that much fun. I mean, it's fun, but it's not the same as like, I definitely enjoyed being a producer on a game a lot more because you got to do the RP events. You got to, what else did you get to do? You got to come up with all the wicked cool skill ideas, and you got to, you just got to do all the fun stuff, all the creative, really fun stuff. So that's what I really, really enjoyed. That's what I like doing. So now as the president, generally I spend my time trying to come up with new marketing ideas, working on SEO on all of our websites, doing retarded interviews. No, just joking. Or organizing, like we have a couple people that do, writing for us, making sure we're getting new content on the websites to help, so I spend a lot of time just not doing stuff that's, quite as much fun. And I keep having to catch myself. In fact, I kind of have a rule, like I just can't go, because I kept going back to like Empyrean or Tolia or something, and I'd come up with this great idea, like, we've got to do this, it's going to be really awesome, and I would code it in the game, but I'm really like, it was really not a waste of my time because I had a lot of fun doing it, but like as a president, that wasn't really my job, right? I'm supposed to be trying to, so right now I spend a lot of time working on websites because we're really pushing on that and working on clients. Kind of our big push here for a while is going to be, we're right in the middle of redesigning the websites. And so today there's some people that don't really like the Listernia website. So today I spent the entire day cleaning that up a little bit, and then we're probably going to make a few more big changes to it so people are a little more happy with it. And then we're rolling out all the rest of the websites. They're going to pretty much look a lot like the Listernia one. And that was what I did today. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
Well, I think that you got to find that balance. And it sounds like right now you're spending a lot of time on development of the business side of things.
Yeah.
And that you said it's a lot more fun for you to work with the games inside of the games and all that. And obviously you got to find the balance. You're the president of the company. You have to put your time where your skills are. Yeah. And I was curious also, Iron Realms as a company, it's growing right now. You are obviously adding games. I saw that there was a new game based on a book series called Midchemia. It was based on a book series by Raymond Feist, I believe, is the author. And so where is the company expanding to right now? I mean, how do you guys benchmark success of Iron Realms? Do you go by profits? Do you go by player growth? How do you look at your company and say, we're doing well this month, or we're doing well this year?
We look kind of like, obviously it's many different things. Like we want to make sure the online time is staying high. So our online time has been pretty steady for the last couple of years. We haven't seen a huge increase, which is why I'm sure a lot of people have noticed we're really pushing out, trying some new things. Like previously, we could just do ads like on comic sites and that type of stuff, and it would pull people in. But, I think people are so ad blind. Ads like that just don't work anymore. So I'm sure everyone's noticed that we've got this big push where we're posting articles on our sites and that type of stuff. So, and I just forgot what the heck I was talking about here.
Okay, I've got this great idea just came to me. Implement a Facebook tool that just lets you play right from your Facebook account, and you can add your friends and you can
I would love to do that. So, but so I would.
That idea.
What's that?
That's trademarked by the retarded interviewers.
We're coining that idea.
That's right. So we were talking about
company growth.
Company growth, right? So, and I forgot where I was going with all that. So I mean, we track online time. We track, of course, how much money we're making each month, how many new people are coming in. So it's just we're shifting off doing things that worked for us 4 or 5 years ago to new things as far as growing the company. Online time's been pretty flat. Revenue is actually still going up, which is great. We're working on new games, which is good. You mentioned Midchemia was out. We're working on Tears of Polaris, which is obviously taking longer than we wanted, which gets back to what I said earlier, is people just don't understand how much time it takes to develop a MUD. So we're definitely, doing well. We've been experimenting with some other things too, as far as growth goes. Like we've been trying like the diedagain.com website, kind of seeing how that goes. We have a couple other websites we're fiddling with. Obviously Matt was working on Earth Eternal, and we're not doing that anymore, but he's got some other projects now that he's working on that hopefully we'll be able to tell people about soon. So, we've got tons of new things we're working on and, growing.
Tell me a little bit about the company as far as like how many employees work for Iron Realms, how many volunteer hours would you estimate the gods who volunteer put in on a yearly basis? I mean, do you have a feel for that?
Man, I have absolutely no idea how many hours get put in. I mean, it's got to be hundreds and hundreds and thousands of hours that the gods, because every time I'm on, there's 2 or 3 gods on each game. So I mean, 24 hours a day times 2 or 3 gods times 5 games. I mean, that's bazillions of hours. So we get a lot of volunteer time, and that doesn't include like we have people that write articles for us and do other work for us. I mean, we're just got so many hours of volunteers, which we super appreciate. Hopefully people are having fun doing that kind of stuff, which is kind of why we offer it.
And then sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, and then you mentioned something about employees. We have let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I want to say we have 8 full-time employees right now, not including myself. So Yeah.
Oh, you don't count yourself in that?
Well, I guess I do. And then I wasn't counting Matt either, who obviously,
Yeah.
is still, drawing an income from the game as well. But
Right.
so,
And
yeah,
all of
nine or
them,
10.
sorry, all the employees are working from their respective homes, or is there a central place where people go to develop these games?
No, everybody works from home, which is one of the big draws of the game. I mean, you work from home, you can choose where you live, you can live anywhere in the world. For example, right now, Justin and Laura, who run IKEA, they live in Australia, but now they're spending the summer in the US. I think they've been traveling, I think they were in Michigan for a while, and now they're in Washington, D.C. So they're just kind of touring the U.S. while they're working every day. I don't know if they're touring the U.S., but they've been, in the U.S. checking out stuff and visiting family and that type of stuff.
And
So
they are gods in IKEA. You said Justin and Flora.
Laura,
Laura,
Laura with an L. Yeah, Justin is in charge. He's tech on IKEA, and then his wife is Valnerena, who helps him out on there with doing role play and that type of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have a couple guys that live in California, and then we have one of our main coders lives in Europe, and then we have a couple guys on the East Coast. So yeah, we're all over the place, and like I said, that's a huge benefit.
Yeah.
You can pick the hours you want, and you can live wherever you want. So it's really nice.
Do you have a question anymore? I was curious, what would you say is the greatest strength that Iron Realms has as a company going for it right now?
The biggest strength for Iron Realms as a company. Well, the company's obviously doing really well. We have a lot of expertise. I mean, we have some fantastic coders, and we have just some incredibly creative people. So right now we have a lot of resources. So one of our, with those strengths, what we want to do is do something new. And right now that's what we spend a lot of time talking about. What do we want to do next that's just going to be amazing? So we have the resources and we have some incredibly talented people. So now it's just a matter of trying to come up with what our wicked cool idea is going to be.
Right.
Right.
So if you have any wicked cool ideas, be sure to pass them along to me.
Yeah, so you're saying that when people do enter ideas in the games, they get read. You guys take those.
Oh, the actual ideas in the game. I don't know how much that gets read. Like we literally get thousands of those. So
Oh, yeah.
I know that like we try to go through and parse them and kind of look at them. And actually, when I was running a game, I would look at the ideas, and sometimes there'd just be some great ones in there. But what I mean is just like ideas for big ideas, like for the company as a whole. Like that's what we're trying to decide now is what do we want to do next? Like we've been dabbling in some websites and doing some other things, but that's just kind of dabbling in what we want. We're really searching for now is kind of our next big thing that doesn't necessarily have to be text games or even text game related or even games related. As the company as a whole is looking to, hire maybe a few new people or take some of our existing people and do something new.
Can you tell us, people that are interested in what kind of hints might be at things to come, development secrets of the future? Do you have, if someone goes, what's going to happen in my game? Like, is there something really cool that people might be able to look forward to?
I think most of the stuff like that's coming up, people know about. Like, we have the Defilers class that's coming out on Empyrean really soon, and then as soon as that's out, hopefully we'll have a couple new classes that are based on that. And then IKEA has the Alchemist class coming out pretty soon. Hopefully he's announced that. And then IKEA has that, and then as far as myself, I'm spending a lot of time working on clients. So hopefully, really soon, we're going to have an iPad, iPhone clients for everybody. We have some big updates for the. We've been doing the Android client, which is kind of our test on it. And so we have some big updates for that here that hopefully will roll out, tomorrow. So we're working on trying to do some cool client stuff and some cool website stuff, to just make the experience a little better for people.
Yeah, I love that Android client. I was on it the other night. We were out together, and she looked.
Oh, good.
She says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Oh, nothing."
That's awesome. That's what we want to hear. Like
Yeah.
the big reason we're started with the Android one is so we can see if people are actually interested in doing it. So if we get enough people using it, then obviously we'll spend a lot more, money and resources on making it, wicked awesome.
Right.
And the same thing with, the iPhone, because the iPhone and the iPad will cost us more money to develop for.
Right.
So, if people are using the Android, obviously we're gonna do we're gonna do the other ones. And those, of course, would be free for everyone to use so that they can, get more addicted.
Yeah, that's really well
And
to see,
take it
right?
with them everywhere. Then they don't have to just be in their house playing.
Right. No, I'm totally cool with that.
So I had a couple personal questions for you to kind of round this
Yeah.
off. I know you're interested in MMA still. Your profile picture on your Facebook is UFC style fighting. Tell us a little bit about that part of who you are and what that means to you, today.
Well, I did, I did, like, I started doing martial arts when I was a little kid, and then the UFC came out in 92, 93, and me and a buddy, we both owned our own gyms. I owned a gym in Oak Harbor, Washington. He owned a gym in Everett. We were like, that is what we want to do. We had dabbled around in kickboxing for a while. We're like, that's what we want to do. The funny thing is we didn't have any experience like wrestling or jiu-jitsu or anything like that. We were just like, we're going to knock everybody out standing up. Yeah, we were just like, well, we were stand-up guys. So we were like, we're just going to knock everybody out standing up. Of course, it didn't work like that. But so, we did, I did a bunch of fights. I wasn't like, I'm not going to say I was a fantastic fighter. I won more than I lost, which was nice. And then, of course, after I did that for a while, I started coaching it. Of course, when I started doing this, I sold my gym. And then in Bellingham here, I actually run a gym with 2 or 3 other guys. So I'm running a gym. And then actually I spend a lot of time reffing all over, Washington State. So I do a lot. I ref, like if you look at my Facebook stuff, that's mostly reffing pictures of me,
Right.
being the cool ref that who looks at the ref? Everybody's looking at the fighter. So
Well, people have favorite refs and favorite fighters.
yeah, definitely. But I don't think I'm anyone's favorite ref yet.
We've gone to our fair share of UFC type stuff
Up here in Alaska, we got the AFC, and they have monthly events, and so it's great.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you go and watch events then?
Oh yeah, they have it at our big sports arena here. Big being
nice.
10,000 people capacity.
Oh, nice. Well, that's still a good. I mean, 10,000 people in an event's pretty good.
We're lucky if we get about 2,000 at one of our events, but it's sponsored by the National Guard, and there's a lot of local involvement, and there's tons of local fighters. I think there's a couple guys that have even gone on to UFC. I don't think any of them were big names up there. There's a guy named Mighty Mouse that came from up here that's out there. He's a lightweight guy.
That Demetrius Johnson?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he actually trains down here. I've run into him a lot, and he's still doing pretty good. I think he won his last fight on the UFC.
Yep.
He's cruising right along. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. You'd. Yeah, no, I've met with him and talked to him, and I don't think I've trained with him. He trains down in Seattle here. It's really.
Yeah, there was a guy a while back named the Alaskan Assassin. His name was Sam Hogar, and I think he went off to law school. He didn't. He lost his big debut fights on TV, and how the UFC is.
They act them really quick, huh?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I know I've reffed some events, and they've had some, fighters from life, flown down some fighters from Alaska before. So I know that they've got a bunch up there. But I actually didn't know that Demetrius is originally from, you're in Anchorage, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure he's originally from here, but I know that he fought up here and that he's being sponsored by people here. So he definitely has strong ties here in Alaska.
Oh, cool. That's interesting. I'll have to ask about that.
And I saw you're interested in soccer. Is that still the case?
Actually, I got interested in soccer. Like, I never actually played soccer, but my daughter started doing soccer in 3rd grade or so, and I was watching the games, and the little that I knew about soccer, like the coaches were driving me so crazy because they did not know what they were doing.
Right.
So I started going and helping them coach. A little bit, and then eventually I just became the coach, probably because I drove them crazy and they didn't want to be around me anymore. And I actually still do a lot of coaching and a lot of watching, and my daughter plays premier soccer now and that type of stuff. So and she has big plans for doing college soccer. So I never actually played soccer, but I'm a huge soccer fan. So I watch, like, I'm watching the Women's World Cup right now, and we watch way too much soccer at my house, but
nice.
Me too.
So we're big soccer fans.
She would say we watch too much soccer. Because every time it's on TV, that's what I want to watch.
Yeah, I'll watch it. You know, a couple of my kids hate it. Like soccer will be on. They're like, "Oh my gosh, no more soccer, please." Yeah, we're fans. My wife and I and my daughter.
Yeah, I never had appreciation for it until I played it, and then I was like, "Oh wow, that was a great pass!" And everybody, most people are like, "90 minutes and nobody scored. How can that be entertaining?"
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely like from coaching it and doing, you know, and learning more about it. I definitely gained an appreciation for it because I was the same thing. Like I was like, soccer, who wants to watch that? You know, but now I've definitely got into it. It's kind of funny.
So to just wrap up this whole interview, you talked about a lot of things that are new to come with Iron Realms, a lot of things that you guys are developing. If you could pick one thing that you would tell our viewers about that Iron Realm is so excited to be launching or that's upcoming, you know, what would that be, just to get people's interest going so that they have something that they're like, yeah, I'm excited for that?
You know, probably the biggest thing that I think people, well, hopefully we're excited about is the Tears of Polaris game, because I mean, I would love to say when it's going to be out, but it'll be out when it's ready. But it's, you know, it's our first dive into something that's not fantasy. All of our games up till now have been fantasy based. So this is a sci-fi, you know, game. So there'll be lasers and aliens and robots and, you know, cyborgs and spaceships, and they've got a whole spaceship system. And so hopefully people are excited about that. And myself, man, I would love to play the game.
It's that cool, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so. You know, I'm hoping people get excited about it. You know, of course, it's obviously taking us a lot longer to get it done than we want. But you know, that's development for this type of stuff. So especially when we only have one or two people actually working on the game full time. So hopefully we will see that out before the end of the year. So that is the one big thing that I think that we're most excited about is, you know, how can you not be excited about a new game? So we're definitely excited about that, especially because it's not fantasy, it's something else. You know, I'm a big fan of sci-fi and, like, you know, apocalypse type stuff too. So, you know, if the sci-fi one takes off, I'd love to see like a some kind of post-nuclear war type of a, you know, a game as well. But first of all, we got to get Tears of Polaris out. So we'll see how that goes first.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for doing this interview with us. You've been great.
Yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, this was a great high note to leave on, and we look forward to hearing more about what you guys are developing in the near future. So if you have anything to share with us, let us know. We're always happy to hear about it.
Yeah, sure thing. Hopefully we'll keep everyone nice and updated.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you, bye.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, have a good one.